This is a clip from our Twitch channel, so if you want to be part of the live reactions, go follow us on Twitch. And if you want to make requests yourself, you can also check out our Patreon. We still have spots open, but just make sure you go join now because the spots do fill up quick. Oh, very 90s.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I hear it. But like a little like clipping guitars kind of tone, which is different. Very different, but... Man, I love it, but they mix those drums like garbage.
Really
they could have
loud, yeah.
They could have mixed those drums. If they mix those drums better, if you got Rick Rubin over there to go mix those drums for them, it would have been perfect, probably.
He's wearing a Sonic Youth shirt too.
Yeah.
Nice. The heavy guitar kind of the beefy guitar tone kind of makes up for it for me. So I really like that.
No, but imagine if it had that kicking in bass with the guitar, like, because if you think about like listen to SDP, very similar kind of tone with the heavier guitars, but you could feel the fucking kick and snare, like no other. You could feel that rhythm, and this is kind of
This reminds me of Bush.
Yeah,
Like
I hear that.
Early Bush. It's weird.
Oh my God, Wretched Rob mentioned Dishwalla. I haven't heard of Dishwalla in forever. They had like one hit, right?
Sounds so familiar.
Yeah, they did.
Dishwalla. Never heard of them.
Nobody's ever heard of them until you like look up their one hit song that they did, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's them.
Yeah, I heard that song.
Yeah, let me see. What was it? Dishwalla.
Counting the blue
cars. There you go.
Counting blue cars.
Yeah. Paul said he took drum lessons from Kawaguchi, who was the youngest drummer ever in the top 500 drummers.
Whoa. Nice.
And I'm not saying his drumming's bad, guys. It's just the mix is really...
He's talking about the mix, yeah.
Lacking in that. Such a classic sound. I know it's a Yamaha. I used to have it. You remember this? I used to have this rack mount. It's a very specific Yamaha reverb sound and chorus sound, and they used it for a bunch of recordings in the 90s. Actually, I think even Rick Beato on YouTube has talked about it. It's they put it on their voices all the time. It's a specific chorus and reverb, and I used to have it. I got rid of it because it was like pointless to have that stuff now because everything's digital and much easier. But it's just a classic rack mount that everybody had in the 90s, and they put on everybody's voice back then. So it's interesting to hear this on her voice also. They used it on Kurt Cobain's, Scott Weiland. I don't know if they did it for Pearl Jam, but there's a lot of 90s artists that they did on. It was very distinctive for that time.
And even like what's more impressive than that, because that effect, as you were just saying, is very 90s, but there's not a whole lot of like delay and reverb on that particular voice or whatever they're using for her. And that makes those notes more naked, in my opinion, and that's a lot harder on vocalists to not have any of that verb or delay to sort of like space out their runs. So she sounds amazing. And her voice naked sounds amazing. So I mean, I'm at least impressed by that.
I was gonna ask you, like, I've always had this feeling when I sing, I feel like it's easier to sing when you have reverb on it. I don't know why. Yeah, it's almost like with guitar tone. Like if you have the wrong tone, it feels harder to play. It's the same shit with vocals. Like when I have like a really perfect reverb, I'm like, damn, sounds good.
Yeah.
And then you take it off, you're like, oh.
Well, I mean, think of it like sex, right? I mean, sex is fine. Sex is great. Sometimes you need lube, and like you could do it without lube. It's still going to be awesome. But it's just a little easier if you have that little, you know what I mean? Like, lube it up a little bit, get it in there. It's even better.
Right? It feels better, right, Eric, with the lube? He has a specific kind. He likes his spice. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway.
He's an Astroglide guy. I get that vibe from you, Eric. You're an Astroglide guy.
I wish I knew what that was.
Right after you mentioned about delay, then you get delay in her voice. Bam. Right at the end. I love how they're trying to do that, like Alice changed Kurt Cobain's sound with her voice. Hey, they were going for 90s, but I gotta say the songwriting, the chord structure is not very 90s. It's the sound, the way that they're playing it and recorded it, and the way that they're singing is. But the actual songwriting, not so much. It's still very like that Japanese chord progression that they use over there a lot. So it's actually, it feels like we just listened to Trident with a 90s flavor. If that makes sense.
I would agree. I could see that. Now, was this video made in the 90s, or is this just a new band that's trying to capture that 90s feel? No,
no, they're an older band. Right? They're an older band? No? Or is this a newer?
4:15. I cannot read that.
Here, let me zoom in.
We are what we are.
Maybe that's a new song? Perhaps. So they're coming out with songs now? Yeah, this song's called Wait. Those are the lyrics.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know if this was like made.
Oh, it's only a few months old.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It seems like it's a tribute.
The band is 3 years old.
Wow. Okay. Check out another band, group, or similar artist right over here. It's one of these, one of these videos somewhere here. I don't know. Check them out.